Welcome to This Is. Ken, is it time to switch to Microsoft Edge? Toss Chrome in the garbage?
I think it's time to switch to Edge because it is literally everything I love about Chrome without the terrible parts of Chrome.
So the thing is, Edge is completely different than what it used to be, right? So they had a period of time where Edge was like this kind of middle stage where it was almost like Internet Explorer 2.0. It was built on all their own rendering tech. It was okay, but not great.
Yeah.
The current version of Microsoft Edge is basically a version of Chrome under the hood, but with a lot of nice stuff on top of it. Importantly, a lot of the stuff that has made Chrome slow and bloated and full of googly bits stripped out.
Yeah, I mean, that includes a lot of, I'm sure, the tracking stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a huge emphasis on privacy, which you can, talk about a little more in length. But I think, again, like the main reason why I like it is because of the fact that it is built on Chrome. There's a lot of reasons why people would want to use Chrome, right?
So,
like extensions, for
absolutely.
example.
So a Chrome extension will work completely fine inside of Edge, drops right in. But beyond that, I think one of the nice things about Edge is that, like you were saying with the privacy bits, there's a lot of stuff that kind of gives it a little bit of an edge personally. Now, before we go any farther, let me just disclaim, this is not a sponsored video. We are not talking about how Microsoft pays us a bunch of stuff. We actually both legitimately use Edge because I'll say it, I guess for both of us, I think it's the best browser out there across the board.
Yeah.
I do use other browsers sometimes, and we'll get into a little bit about why Edge might not be perfect for everyone, but I think it's as a blanket statement, Edge is the best browser for most people. I can stand behind that. I think that makes sense.
I think there are a lot of things that Edge gets a bad rap about. I mean, Microsoft definitely came under fire for when they forcibly installed it on people's computers, which was definitely not great. But also, like, at the same time, I was already using Edge at that point. You know, while people were getting angry, I was like, but this thing is kind of better.
And so if you can put your prejudice aside, that blue E logo, what you get with Edge is, first of all, like we were saying with the Chrome side of thing, you're getting a completely compatible experience. It's going to work across the board. But importantly, I think it does have that compatibility with a lot of the good bits of Chrome, like everything. But I think my favorite part of it is the fact that it just feels faster. It feels more lightweight.
When we're talking about Microsoft Edge being based on Chrome, it also has the ability to be just as bloated as Chrome if you make it out to be, right?
You can load it up with all kinds of stuff.
But still, despite that, with all of the stuff that I have on my Chrome and on my Edge still is faster. There's definitely way better optimization. And I think really the best part is, again, it doesn't have all of those googly bits, but you have the benefit of something that is backed by a major company. Yeah.
I am personally just, this is an Austin Evans only opinion, right? I personally like to spread my data around. I don't necessarily like to keep all my eggs in one basket. I certainly have a Google account and use it for many things, but also I like to have some things in my Apple ID or inside my Microsoft account or whatever the case is. There's some good tracking protections that are built inside of Edge, right? Now, this is not completely unique. Safari actually has some almost more aggressive things to help kind of keep you from being tracked online. But Edge has a lot of good stuff built in. Supposedly, Chrome is going to bring some of this stuff out at some point, but as Google is an ad company and makes money by tracking you everywhere,
it's kind of sus. It's kind of sus.
A little bit, right? Now, Edge does support the vast majority of devices. So in addition to supporting the Mac, and it now supports M1 Macs, which we can talk a little bit about, it also works on iOS and Android and stuff. I do actually use it as my main browser on Android. Although, I will say the only spot where Edge has maybe a little bit of a soft spot is on Apple devices.
Yes.
Safari is actually, especially on the phone, on like iPad, Safari actually is pretty good and has a lot of like custom features built in that Edge has like some arguments against, but that is one place where on like an iPhone or whatever, I still personally like Safari.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like any other modern day browser. If you do have all of your stuff tied into one account, obviously with Edge being a Microsoft thing, it is tied to your Microsoft account, lets you share all of your bookmarks across devices.
Tabs,
as someone that uses a Mac and PC, as well as an iOS device and an Android device, much like you, having that device synergy just makes everything infinitely easier. iOS and Safari obviously are very well integrated with everything that is in the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we're talking things like Apple Pay and stuff like that.
On like the Mac, for example, or obviously on iOS, when you have Safari, you can use like the fingerprint sensor or Face ID to pay using Apple Pay, which is great. Like that's a feature I use all the time.
Safari is incredibly fast on iOS.
It is, and that's the thing. Like I feel like Chrome is the default, right? I mean, obviously there's Chromebooks, there's all these devices that run Chrome. There's nothing absolutely wrong with Chrome, right? I think if you've made it to this part of the video, you're probably like writing your comment out about why Firefox is the best, and we can talk about some of the other browsers. I think the basic position we're in 2021, I used to do browser tests all the time, and there actually used to be meaningful differences between this browser and that browser. They were all based on different technologies and different engines. These days, pretty much everything boils down to it's Chrome or something that is based on Chrome, such as Edge, such as Opera, such as Vivaldi, or it is something like Firefox, which has a very long history, or it is Safari, which obviously Apple does their own thing, right? The differences between the browsers are not as pronounced as they once were, which means that it really is more of an opinion of your own personal taste, right? If you're a gamer, you might want to use Opera GX, which actually has some interesting features about how it will allow you to like limit how much memory and CPU usage and stuff. You have like themes built in. You may want to use Firefox because Firefox has been around forever and honestly still has some interesting features.
It is trusted, and like while I haven't used it in the past year, I've used newer versions of it versus when I used it back in like 2008, 2009. And, and it's come a long way.
They've done a lot of work on Firefox. Yeah, I think it was when Quantum, like that was like the first time they had really kind of like rebuilt a lot of the sort of underpinnings. But the thing is, when it comes to your browser, this is a place where we spend a lot of time, right? Like, sure, we're in a lot of apps and whatnot, but our browser is very important. And I think having something that protects your privacy, personally, that is something that I have a lot of emphasis on, right? And Chrome, I don't simply think does a great job of that. Now, I would never advocate for this particularly, but Chrome also does not, well, it has like a very soft ad blocker built in, which basically just blocks like scummy ads or whatever. You can download whatever you want. But Edge actually has this stuff built in, even on mobile, right? It's one tick to turn that on. And of course you can turn on your privacy, like sort of tracking protection.
I don't know, it's just like with Google owning literally every part of my life on no matter what device I'm on, it's like, I wanna at least step away a little.
You're diversifying your data. Look, I think it's one of those things where I have this conversation with a lot of like friends, and specifically family. I'm like, hey, you should try Edge. And everyone's like, Edge, what's that?
No, my thing is whenever I show my screen like on Discord or something, usually a friend goes, "You're using Edge?
Did you forget to install Chrome or something?"
No, it's almost like the unofficial catchphrase is Microsoft Edge. Oops. Really? But that's the thing is that I think people actually need to give it a chance.
I 100% agree, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to try stuff like Opera, stuff like Vivaldi, stuff like Brave, Firefox, I mean, there's a lot of great browsers out there.
I know only like 3 of those.
Well, but like, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with those browsers, and in fact, they all have their own individual strengths and whatnot. But generally speaking, a lot of these Chromium-based browsers are very similar. It's just more like the features that are on top. And the thing is, Microsoft has actually done a really good job with Edge of constantly innovating and bringing new things out. So now they have like the profiles, which is a really helpful thing that I think Chrome was the first browser to bring out. But there's even like a kids mode built in to Edge where you can turn it on. It will kind of lock down some certain sites if you want to give your computer to like a kid or someone you don't want like messing all of your stuff up. The way of doing this, Edge will now give you the option of, if a lot of people say no to a notification prompt on a website, it won't even show it anymore. So if you're using Edge, it would have skipped the last 20 seconds of this video and you would have saved yourself some time. You're welcome.
I mean, this is less of
That's not how it works, but it's a metaphor for annoying pop-ups, so like you don't want to be bothered.
I mean,
so if you use Edge, it helps to be bothered. And I'm bothering you right now by asking you, nay, begging you to subscribe and to ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling bell. You've done it though, right? Like you've actually ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling bell. I'm actually being serious. You've hit that button.
It's like down.
It's down there.
Here.
Yeah. Just press it, and then you'll be always notified with lots of annoying prompts of our clickbait videos. Oh, here we go. See, Match is
gone.
It's fine. It's fine.
You made him leave.
What do you think about using Microsoft Edge? Let us know in the comments below. Are you using Firefox or Chrome or Safari? There's certainly elements to all these browsers, but I'd say if anything, just maybe give something that's not Chrome a try. In any case, we need to go find Matt.
He is on the edge of losing his
Wait, the video can't end now. No one's there to press the stop button. Matt, can you please press the stop button? This video is people are gonna be here forever waiting for this video to be over because you didn't hit the stop button. We're burning people's time right now. Press stop. Press stop. Matt, end the video. End the video, Matt. End the video.